Welcome back to another Off the Record podcast. Podcast? It's a good start, isn't it?
Great start.
Off the Record podcast. Let's get into some breaking news. There's another new controller and we just can't get a break. The Serato box has returned.
That's a big one.
And is DJ etiquette still a thing? Let's get into this week's episode of the Off the Record podcast.
Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Yes, welcome back to the podcast, not the podcast, whatever I said before. Welcome back. First of all, sorry. Sorry I wasn't here last week. We didn't plan on not being here last week.
No.
In the UK, it is the Easter holidays, which throws everything out. Me and Jamie have young children, and it's never easy, is it?
It's never
easy. It's just,
those who are listening who will know.
Yeah,
it's just like kids. As soon as school stops, it's like, oh, what do I do? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
We're kind of juggling childcare.
Well, it's like everywhere else, but as soon as schools close, they just expect you to not work.
And then in the UK, we've got like 3 bank holidays in a row. So the next 3 Mondays, everyone's off work, which just throws your week out. It's so
totally
weird. Like,
and you can't get a rhythm, and we love making loads of content and stuff, and it's hard to get a rhythm. So we only realised last Wednesday we couldn't do the podcast. So sorry about that. We are back this week. We're going to be discussing sort of the differences between DJs at different kind of venues. We're going to go and talk about the differences between playing in a small venue, a wedding, and a big venue as well. But just talking about some news from this week. And also, as well, hello to people on YouTube,
hello,
Facebook, Discord, anywhere else?
Everywhere.
Mars.
Twitch.
Hello everyone.
Yeah.
We are going to be taking loads of questions because we've got a little talking point, but we really want to dive into some questions. So Discord, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Planet Mars. Everywhere. Put your questions in, and we're going to get to that in the second half. Any questions you want. But yeah, there was a new controller. We don't have it in our hands at the minute, but if you've been looking on YouTube and stuff, there is the big conference called NAMM. Yeah. NAMM, which is a big music conference out in, I want to say Miami.
It's LA.
Yeah. And there is a new controller coming from Hercules. Now, we've had the press release through, and they did tell us about it before it was kind of shown at NAMM, and it's got motorized platters, which will really appease some DJs like myself, who love like the Rain one, or are used to Technics 1210s, or just like that battle style mixer, like DJ mixers. So it's basically they're going for like the most affordable motorized platter unit out there. So like I said, we've not got our hands on it, and obviously we'll have a review when we get it, which I think's May, Jamie.
Yes, next month. So.
Yeah. Next month.
So we should have the Reloop Flux, which is the Serato box.
That's the Serato box. We'll come to that.
The Hercules T7.
The T, so it's called the Hercules T7. It is from Hercules, and it looks very much like the mixer is from like the Impulse 500 series, the Impulse series, so very familiar. But yeah, it's got motorized platters, and the only thing we've seen, I watched Mojax's great review at NAMM of it, and he's really impressed with it, and he knows a thing or two about turntables. So looking forward to getting our hands on it. Like I say,
it's interesting because they've got belt drives.
Yeah,
it's belt-driven turntables within this this controller. So that's different. All the other motorized controllers out there have direct drive, but that makes it very heavy because they've got a motor in there. So obviously we haven't had hands on this. I can't say whether that's good or bad yet. Mojax says it works really well.
He says he really likes it.
And obviously it's that compensation. It's like, okay, well we gave up that direct drive, but we can then have something that's super light, portable, and much cheaper because I'm guessing there's more production cost into doing direct drive.
Oh yeah,
so,
well the Rain one is like a tank.
Yeah,
but
it's heavy.
It's built like a tank, and it's not necessarily for that mobile kind of feel. But this one, by the looks of it, you're going to be able to take it everywhere with you. So
yeah,
price point is like $799 as well, which is like super affordable. It's like the cheapest in the market for that motorized platter feel. So excited to get that and test it. We should have that in May. I think it releases in May as well, does it? No
official word. And there's also a new product as well that we can't talk about, but that's coming in like 2 weeks as well. So
so if you are kind of like that battle style DJ, maybe you come from like a Serato background, then this is for you. And speaking of Serato, what we didn't see come out of nowhere was the return of the Serato box.
Yes, big surprise.
Legendary. Now, if you listen to our podcast, not last week, the week before, I mentioned that like one of my favorite pieces of equipment ever was my SL4 box, my Scratch Live box.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't miss the hassle of having to set it up, but I just miss like the nostalgia and the feel of having the big box. But the Reloop have launched a Serato box, USB-C for Serato 3.0. So it's a good addition. I think a lot of it's been received really well.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because when this got announced, I was like, it's interesting because there's so many mixers now that just plug and play with Serato. You know, this sound card for Serato is built into the mixers to a lot of them now. So it's really for older products. Like they've made a new product so that DJs can connect to older equipment, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, because there's been such a big gap in the market for this box because Denon brought out a DS1. Rain stopped making them. Yeah. Then Denon brought out this DS1. I don't think it really did very well, and they just kind of put that to the wayside. So nobody was actually producing the solution to this problem. Yeah. But then looking forward, it's like, okay, well, in the next 5 years, is anyone going to be using these boxes? Maybe, maybe. But it's a weird thing to make a new product that is to unlock old equipment. But it's going to be interesting.
But like I say, the response, we thought, okay, pretty good. But we put a post out, and I think, looking at like, I think Mojax has done a video on people like that. The views are crazy, and like, I think it's just that thing, working DJs, creatures of habit, and when you kind of interrupt a DJ's workflow, like I say, with this Scratch Live boxes being becoming obsolete, that can affect. So that will stop some DJs like upgrading to like newer versions of Serato, maybe trying stems out because they just want. They want what they know, and like you don't need to keep reinventing the wheel. If you know how to DJ, you know how to DJ. You don't need to keep learning how to do whatever. But
it's trust in it as well. Like
exactly.
I trust this setup. It works for me. Why change it?
So I think it's a good idea from Reloop. It's relatively inexpensive to buy, and once you've got it. Unlocks new Serato. Looking for we are getting one of them as well. So
I like Reloop for the fact that they think of these things that are a little bit more niche in the market, but do well. Like the laptop stand that they did with the hub integrated makes total sense. Total sense. We've got a few questions. I might just run through a few. There's a good one here. Michael on YouTube says, "Hi guys, is there any way to make a budget controller portable with a power pack?" Wait.
Just wait 2 weeks.
And someone else asked, would you make a setup with a Mac Mini? You can do. You can use that. You don't have to. This is a big thing. You don't have to use a laptop. If you're at home and you've got a computer, you can plug DJ controllers into your computer.
There's so many streaming DJs.
We always talk like you'll need a laptop to plug into it, but ultimately that's just for the portability factor. It doesn't matter. You just plug a computer in.
Yeah, a lot of streaming DJs do that. They have big screens and like I've seen. It's always sick when you see like Serato on a massive like 40-inch screen, and I'm like. Yes.
Aspie said, I love Hercules value for money. In my opinion, the Hercules Impulse 500 is the best beginner controller.
You know what I said?
What do you think is the best right now?
Well, I said this. I think maybe it was like a wrap up of like the end of last year or whenever it came out.
It was like our favorite equipment.
And I said it was like my favorite controller of the whole year because it's kind of, it doesn't feel budget. It's super robust. RGB pads. And it's one of them where it's kind of big enough and portable enough that you're confident to like taking it out everywhere. It's got professional outputs and stuff, so I love it. To be fair,
I think Hercules is stepping into that Newmark category for Serato.
Yeah,
because Newmark was always like that entry level, slightly cheaper than Pioneer entry for Serato users, and I feel like Hercules have filled the gap better. They've kind of approached the functionality better than Newmark a lot of the time, and now Newmark are owned by Music. They're trying to integrate more and more of the engine OS in there and less of Serato. So I think Hercules have filled that spot really well, and I'm excited about all the products that they're releasing at the moment. I think they're doing it at a good price point as well, which obviously makes it more accessible, which we love.
So we'll favourite some more questions and we'll come to them at the end. So we're going to get to today's kind of theme, which is around speaking to most of the DJs that we know in our community. There's kind of 3 levels of DJing what you're naturally going to progress to. There's the small venues, there is the kind of wedding private event side, and then there's the kind of big clubs. So that's broadly speaking, that's the majority of sort of our Crossfader community. So I just want to go through like the steps and the stages and the differences that you you're going to need and the experience you're going to need and the setups and all that kind of thing. We'll kind of give some advice on each one. So, like I say, if you for those kind of smaller gig DJs, we're talking bars, we're talking private parties, bar mitzvahs, college parties. We talked about college parties earlier. This kind of venue, I just want to go through kind of 5 key things. We're going to go through kind of setup, goals, like the progression and what kind of fees and stuff you can charge for like each step, basically. So if we start off on like smaller venue DJs, and we're talking about your kind of bar, local bar, restaurant, pubs, like I say, parties, private parties and stuff like that. Yeah. So the first thing you need to do is for these kind of gigs, generally you'll probably need your own equipment for a lot of them. So what are some of like the best equipment just to get you started going out and starting DJing?
Well, you've got to think, if you're going to go out and DJ, then try and get something with some professional outputs, because that'll help you down the road. We love the DJ Flex 4, but it only has an RCA master out. So then you're looking at like that next step up. Yeah. And this is where the Hercules Impulse 500 has a bit more of a professional output on there. So that's still a cheaper product that still could be plugged into powered speakers and provide a bit more power, which is good. But we're looking at, some of the Numark products, like the Mixstream Pro, for example, has XLR outputs, and that's still at quite a good price point. And again, you've got your streaming in there. You've got your Wi-Fi, you can connect to lighting. It's one of those all-in-one units there. My personal one would say Mixstream Pro, if you're going to be like, I'm going to go out to bars and clubs, not bars and clubs, like small venues. I need some speakers to plug in and maybe some basic lighting. You can do that with this one unit, which is exciting.
Yeah, and I think the streaming is a good selling point as well. You're gonna have to take a lot of requests at some times, especially like if you think about a private party or something like that. It's going to be someone's birthday or whatever. Then they're gonna have some specific songs that you're gonna need access to, and having streaming built in there is like absolutely ideal. So that's a great idea as well. And
someone said RX3 is perfect for mobile. That is a solid. You won't have to upgrade. It's like you can get that, and you're cool.
100%. You got to think about things like a microphone, especially like I say, if you're doing local bars or private parties or things like that, you might have to get on a mic. Somebody might want to speak. You might be asked to do some shout outs, that kind of thing. So again, inputs is a big thing. You can't be taking like a DJA 200 or something like that, because again, you're going to have to think about these things. And then depending on what kind of gig it is, you might need some lights. If you're getting offered to do private parties, you might want to think about taking like a quick light setup as well, just for and then you can add that onto the fee or something like that. So all these kind of things you need to sort of think about when you're setting up. Now, if we talk about the private event space, then again you're sort of leveling up the equipment that you need quite heavily. If we talk about private weddings, corporate parties, now we're talking about big rig speakers. We talk about big light shows potentially. You talk about more kind of an aesthetic look to your like DJ booth and how you've got to
build an experience.
This is it.
You've got to build an experience, and that's why you don't have to get it all at once. You can start doing much lower budget events, but what I would definitely recommend is, if that's going to be your end goal, is the money you earn, invest as much as you can back into it. Treat it as a business. Get better, speakers, better lighting. Even down to the DJ booth, like that can make such a huge difference. The pictures that you can have on your website, if you've got a nice looking DJ booth, you're not looking at the speakers. Then you're looking at the aesthetic of the booth and things. Does it fit in with fancy weddings? So then you can charge more, and then you've got more money coming into the bank to then invest and upgrade your equipment again. So early days, keep investing.
These corporate events and wedding bookers, they're not looking to see necessarily how sort of good you are as a DJ. They need the pictures to show their clients, to be like, look what you can have. So as long as you can do your sort of basic transitions, it's not necessary. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, if you've got amazing skills to top that up, then that's when you get to that that Nick Spinelli level. But like Jamie said, if you can have that aesthetic look, invest in getting some professional photos of your setup, then that is easily sellable to clients and corporate events and these wedding packages and stuff. And then again, to go with like the equipment, something like a Mixstream Pro, was it?
Mixstream Pro
might not be the look that you need. However, the functionality might be there, but you might need to have something a little bit more professional looking, some kind of high-end Pioneer products. Definitely need a microphone, and you need a good microphone as well. You'll be doing a lot of hosting, like 50% hosting at these events for sure, and not even just you. You know, you've got, if it's a private corporate event, they'll usually do some like awards shows or something like that, and you've got to be really flexible. So you'll have to have a bit more experience and things like that.
Do you know what's an overlooked product for this, specifically for this market? Is the Roland DJ 707M.
Okay.
This was designed for mobile DJs, and it doesn't look like amazing. It's not ticking that box, but from a functionality perspective, it works with Serato, but it's got like so many professional inputs and outputs, and its footprint's nice and small. So it means you could have like, singers going into your unit. You can have even a band, probably some of, their mixer going in. And it's just got a lot built into it for mobile DJs. So it's definitely one that's like an underrated product that doesn't really get mentioned.
I don't think I remember that.
No,
I can't think of what it looks like.
No, 100%. For sure. Even stuff like, your Prime 4 and things like that, they're perfect for this kind of thing, especially with streaming and things inside. Microphones, as like I say, you get the go-to microphone is the Shure SM58?
SM57.
Yeah,
why did we get 58 from?
Because I think there is a 58.
Is there a 58?
There's a 58.
Right, one of the 50s.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure, that usually the go-to, like 90% of DJs will have one of them. So then let's talk about big clubs, the setup. So that choice will generally be taken away from you, and that's a good thing, because you don't want to be but some DJs do, but you don't want to be taking your gear everywhere with you if you're like a big club DJ. But you're just going to have to sort of be aware of, if you're at home practicing with, if you've got a Prime 2 or Prime 4, 90% of clubs will have some Pioneer products. So you just have to be aware of the transition that you're going to have to make inside in clubs. A lot of clubs now are trying to be versatile, putting like an XZ in, so you can use Serato or Record Box or something like that. But I would just make sure that you know how to do the basics, so that you can turn up and you know where everything is and what everything does, kind of thing.
I think another thing you need to be aware of as well, going into clubs especially for the first time, is that not all of the equipment is going to be at the same standard as what you may have. Like some DJs don't look after equipment, and it could be in bad condition.
Big time.
There could be broken things, whatever else, and you're just going to have to overcome it, really.
And then so in terms of like equipment, you might need backup. So like Danny's saying, so like all the wires might be broken or something like that. So I've always got spare RCA cables, USBs. Make sure you've got like spare USB. One USB might be broken or something like that.
And some Starburst.
Some Starburst. Some bananas.
If anyone doesn't know what Starburst are, the little sweets and the little soft chewable sweets.
Just to give you a little boost.
If you lose a fader cap, you can
you put it on the fader.
Starburst down.
I thought you meant for energy.
You could do that as well, but
No, you can stick the sweets to the mixer.
Stick the sweet to the mixer.
Yeah, what are some of the situations you guys have been in?
Well, we talked about the turntable one, where when I used to play on turntables, there was never slip mats ever. So I used to have to cut up some paper and put that under it to stop the vinyl from scratching.
I've had a lot of broken cue and play buttons on CDJs.
Always.
And do you know what else is really annoying? When the fader on the mixer, you fade it to the top, volume's going well, and then there's a little, when you push it right to the very top, suddenly it dumps down and it cuts out. There's like a little, it's obviously if it's had a drink spilt in it, and you've got to like mix all your sets and never slam the fader up. You've got to go just before the top.
Whenever the knob's off the fader, it's just that raw metal bit.
Oh, it's awful.
If you're playing 2 hours, like your fingers got a big like indents, like a big gash in it.
That's why you need your Starburst. I've also had the effects like where the dry wet knob doesn't work, so it's like you're either fully wet or like also.
Pause.
That's a bit annoying. Pause.
So the next thing, let's talk about goals, like what the goals for each section. So the goals for small venue, there's a few, and it depends like what you want to be. You need to kind of set these goals. It might just be a hobby for you, which is great. But talk about is it experience, is it opportunity you want? So going in a small venue, you're probably going to want to be there for a bit of experience early on to do it, but you also might want to just get your foot in the door. You might have like a day job, so you might just want to be like, right, my goal is to earn another $300 on a weekend. So but the reason you need to kind of define it is so that you don't fall into this trap of say you start out and you're like, okay, I've got a job, but I just want to DJ on a weekend at a small venue. And then you're there every week and it becomes a bit like boring and monotonous for you. And you're like, why aren't I getting other gigs? And it's like, well, because that's not what you're setting out to do. So kind of have to think about what goals you want. So is this a progression? Like, do you want to, do you want this to be a stepping stone into this wedding space, or like this club space? Or are you just like fine, you know, in your local area?
It's a really good point, this, because there's so many DJs that will try and get that extra gig on a weekend, but then what you've got to do is commit to the fact that, like, you know, if you're just doing it and it's for that extra money, you can try and find the gigs that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're like, I need progression here, you're going to have to take gigs that you're probably not going to enjoy. So you've got to remember that, you know, if you're happy with having a day job and just gigging on a weekend for the fun of it and earning a bit of extra income, that's great, because you can pick and choose a little bit more once you start getting those gigs, and just find the stuff that really, you know, lights you up a little bit on a weekend. But like you say, if then suddenly you start taking more and more gigs, you're going to have to commit to the fact that you're not going to enjoy every single gig. Like, it's just standard. Like work, any kind of work. It's the grass isn't always greener, you know.
And if you know, whatever your goal is, let's say your goal is progression, it is to get to the clubs, then you got to think about it more, not business minded, but a bit more forward thinking, where it's like, okay, maybe I'll take my phone and start recording some mixes, because this is a great opportunity for me to get some evidence out there on my social media that I can do it, that I'm a competent DJ, and that, you know, if you trust me to book me in one of your clubs or one of your wedding events, that I can do it. So you can easily just, you know, take a tripod with you, or ask a friend to film, or one of the managers to film for 10 minutes or something like that. But getting some content there that's evergreen, that you can, you know, keep posting on your socials. This is why, you know, just turning up to a gig isn't enough. You got to think about, what's my end goal here? Do I just want this? Do I want this as an opportunity? And then also the opportunity might be to network. So if it is a local bar, you know, the manager, the bar staff or something might work in another bar who knows the other manager and this kind of thing. So are you going in there with the goal to network and make a name for yourself around your area? So I think
that all paints a great picture for what Martin says here on Facebook. He says, I'm charging a venue £200. Is that too low? I take all my gear as well. Now, if we hadn't have said all of that stuff that you just said, then you might think, on face value, you should charge more because your gear's there. And I mean, I don't know how long you're going to be playing for, but regardless, maybe you could get some more out than that. But are you taking your gear because the venue doesn't have gear? Or because you prefer your gear? So that's the first thing. If you prefer your gear, you can't charge more for that. Like, but if they don't have gear and you're taking your gear, you could probably charge a bit more. However, just like what Lawrence just said about what is the goal and what's the opportunity of that gig. There's so many times where we've all DJ gigs that we see a bigger opportunity. There's a bigger play, a bigger picture there. It's not about the fee at that moment in time. It's about, this unlocks, you know, another part of my career, or it unlocks something else. I get in with the right people. So that's where, don't always think of the fee. There could be other opportunities there. Then it's worth it for £200 if there's other opportunities.
He's just replied actually saying, I do 8 p.m. till 1 a.m. and they have no gear.
Okay,
fair enough.
Well, that's fine, but then you have to define like what is worth it to you. Like you say, first of all, you're getting paid a DJ fee, which is great, and then you've got to kind of weigh it up with like what the venue, where the venue is. You know, it's different if you're sort of a local pub in Leeds compared to like a city centre club in the centre of London. Like it depends what the going rate is. Like if they're charging £1 for a beer or £10 for a beer,
it's all relative.
It's all relative. And then also like Jamie says, like I've done a couple of festival gigs for free, and then that's led to massive opportunities. So it's what it's worth to you. It's
how many times have you done a gig? It's the exact same gig from one to another, and the fee's totally different. And it's not, the fee isn't representative of the physical job that you're doing, as in like the songs you're mixing, because you're doing just as good job for that other fee that was way less. It's more. It ties into the, like you say, you know, the venue.
It is like that. And I've done gigs for like £750 that I didn't like. Like, obviously, I enjoyed the money, but I didn't like the gig. And it's like, it's not all about that monetary value. It's like, and this is the whole point going back to it. It's like, right, what is the goal of this? Why am I taking this gig? It's because of this, this, and this, and that I can see the end goal, and this is it. It might not come about, but at least I know that if I'm doing this gig for £100, then I'm doing it because, one, I might need a bit of money that I need, or because it might be something like non-related. It's like, okay, I want to go on holiday with my family this weekend. In a couple of weeks, I need some money, so I'll do it for a bit less because I need some money. That might be a different goal.
I can shed some personal experience on this. So when I first started DJing, I was actually promoting my own events, and I saw it as an opportunity for me to then make my name as a DJ by bringing people to events. Then I DJ at my own events. Now, when I was promoting my own events, I was like 17, 18, 19. They were really successful, and we were taking home like £3,000 plus a week, right? Crazy money for that kind of age. And the night was successful. As soon as it started dying, we started losing loads of money. Within like 6 to 8 months, we made upwards of 40, 50, 60,000 pounds, and then nearly lost it all. And it was a big learning curve. And actually at that moment in time, I was like, you know what I want? I want something that's kind of a bit safer, a bit more secure. I want someone to pay me a wage just to turn up every week. And I went the other way and going, I'm scrapping promoting events. So stressful. I don't need this right now. It's
bad.
And I just picked up gigs that were £200, £150, like Martin was saying. £150, £200 was like sweet spot, great. And I stuck my week out with those kind of gigs. And I had a year where I was like, you know what? It's reliable. I can just work on my skill as a DJ and my brand as a DJ. And then the fee started going up because I'd built a bit of a reputation as just being a DJ, not a promoter as well. So that's just going to show that it's not always about the money. We were turning over crazy money, and I think, well, that'd be great. I could DJ and I get £3,000 a week, amazing. But there's so much more that went into that, obviously. And it's not always, like I said, the grass isn't always greener.
I think when we talk about goals for like the corporate and event space, I struggle to think about another goal where the money isn't the main issue, the main goal. And what I mean by that is that the more well known and the better your equipment becomes, and the more you grow on sort of social media or your client list gets booked up, and the more your fee is going to go up naturally. And I don't really know what any other goal is for a wedding DJ. You know what I mean? Other than or a private event, than just kind of like
leveling
increasing
up
your
sort
fee.
of thing.
Now that, and again, if anyone is an event DJ in the chat, let me know. But maybe it is that you want to scale to a point where you can actually make enough money off, one wedding a month, and then you can actually go out and pursue your other DJ opportunities, where you can just go to your local bar and actually DJ, like, say you love like a bit like minimal techno or something, you can just go out and DJ like once a week there, and you don't have to worry like you'll do it for free because you love it that much, something like that. Then that's why you might want to like be able to afford that kind of living. And then again, it doesn't actually. It doesn't mean to. The goal setting doesn't actually have to rely on about where you get to as a DJ. It's DJing's a tiny part of like your life. If we're talking about, you might want to go on 3 more vacations with your family this year, or you might want to travel for 6 months or something like that. Like that might be the goal. So it's like, right, how can I do this so quickly at scale? And definitely corporate events and stuff is like the quickest way to generate income as a DJ. And you might just want to like, stack up a load of money and then be like, right, I'm done for 6 months and go and something like that. Just another goal.
Yeah, makes sense.
Gerhard just made a great point in Discord about what about insurance for gear since you're taking it out. I think
we were talking about this.
I've never done that though.
We were talking about it yesterday. So I recently just got a new laptop, and I was thinking about the whole like Apple Care thing that they try and sell to you and things. And I thought about when I used to have insurance for my laptops. I was DJing out a lot, and I was on Serato every single night. And there was an instance where within a month, my laptop got swilled with drinks twice in that 1 month. And if I hadn't have had insurance, it would have cost so much money. But it's like
pissing some people off. What were you playing?
It was literally just like one got thrown across the venue, landed on my laptop, and then someone from the booth behind me.
We're from a weird place though, where getting a drink thrown in your face while you DJ is a compliment.
It's weird around here. So I would say if you like for your laptop, if you're spending a lot of money on a computer like a MacBook or something like that, then I would say it's worth it. I don't know how much it is.
Going on from there, Pioneer did just announce, is it Alpha Care?
Yes,
what's it called? Alpha Care. What's it called?
Alpha Theta Care.
Alpha Theta Care.
Yeah.
It's basically like their Apple Care. I don't know if it's launched yet, but it's like something they just announced at that NAMM show. So we'll have a bit more on that for you very soon. But yeah, a bit like Apple Care is what Pioneer are trying to do with their thing.
It's like a level of subscription, isn't it? So like if you pay X amount more.
It's a good idea.
Insurance policy.
It's a good idea. I mean,
there's even a level for water damage, which is mental.
Must be the only. It must be the main thing.
There will be so many venues.
There must be so many venues.
100%.
So let's move on to goals for like big DJs. Now this is where there's a lot of branches because, like I said, there's a goal of becoming a working DJ in a big club. Great life, great living, and you can do that. Most of us have done that for many, many years. Yep. If that's the goal, then it's achievable. It's achievable. But then what you might find is what I found is like, there's something more out there. I just want to do a bit more. Then you're going to have to become either you have to go down the producer route or the radio route or the kind of social media influencer route. And all of them require totally different skills, totally different energy, time, all this kind of thing. You might have to kind of change your whole perception, and your work ethic has to just totally shift towards, everything I'm doing is content, and everything I'm doing is right. Okay, I want to make more than I am from a resident. Let's say a resident gets £250. I want to be making more. Well, you're going to have to get some followers because people are only going to pay you if you can bring more people into the club. So therefore, you're going to have to, be up on TikTok and Instagram and make content every day, churning out all the time. And it comes naturally to a lot of people, but it obviously doesn't to a lot of other people. Or you're going to be like, right, I'm going to make music. I'm going to, it goes hand in hand perfectly. Because if you're DJing 4 nights a week, yeah, you've got, your days, you got all your days free to learn how to produce and learn how to manage music and distribute music and all that kind of thing. So it goes hand in hand. But again, it's just setting that goal in it, and then figuring out a plan, I think, is the big thing. Like, figuring out a plan is like, what is my goal here? Because like I say, eventually you're just going to get to a point where you can be like, I'm just doing playing the same music every week in clubs, and it's just not fulfilling me. And then you need to get a plan early is what I think you need to do.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's a whole like influencer culture coming out with DJing now, and obviously a lot of people will push back on it, but there's opportunities there. Like, there's influencers for all different industries, and like, I can see this growing more and more.
Big time. We see it. We follow a lot of them on TikTok. We speak to them on Instagram, and they're making smart, what we call smart money, where it's like they're making money while asleep. So they're not even, as a DJ, you transfer your money with time. So you go out, you DJ 4 hours, you get paid for 4 hours. Yeah. Whereas these influencers are creating brands, and then in the daytime they can do a sponsor post or something like that, or collaborate with Pioneer DJ or something like that, and get money while they're not DJing.
Which and is what you've got to think is, if you're interested in music in general, what you don't realize is once you build a following, it's not just products that people pay you for. We've had labels reach out to us and be like, can you use these tracks? We'll pay you £200, use these tracks in your TikTok. Like, that happens. And just, that's a way that people promote new music, that labels promote new music now. So it doesn't mean you have to suddenly start holding up, some lip gloss. Like, it's not that,
However, if you pay me, I will do that.
There's still opportunity there to still DJ and have fun, and it doesn't have to suddenly turn you into some kind of like traditional influencer. There's all new ways about it now. So
of course, and if you're like into like the culture of music, start a YouTube channel. You can get paid for being on YouTube. And like I think we talked about it a bit last time on the podcast, but again, if you create a YouTube channel, there's things like Patreon and things where you can Bandcamp, where you can sell your edits, and all of this stuff can go into like your grand plan of like what do you want to become. Because if you start ticking all of these little boxes where you're like, oh, I've got a bit more following here, and I'm selling these edits, I'm going live on Twitch from my bedroom, like in my underwear, making money off Twitch, making money off YouTube, making money off Patreon, making money off Bandcamp. Pioneer have just asked me to do a UGC, which is user generated content. They just asked me to do a post for £150 to promote this thing. It's like, you don't even need to go to DJ tonight because I've made more money in the daytime. So it's, again, having that plan, I think is the thing with it. Next thing I want to go to is the last thing before we get into some questions, maybe. Let's talk about different fees. We've already touched on fees, I think, and we have a whole article on DJs getting paid, so we'll kind of broadly speak about it. But I think, from the smaller venues, it honestly can go from zero, which is you getting experience, and like, don't get triggered that I'm telling you to DJ for free. I'm not. I'm just saying the reality is you want experience, and if you're not getting paid for DJing, it'll be exciting for you to go DJ live that you'll want to do it for free, in my opinion. So it will start from free, and it will go up to somewhere around £100, $100, $250, $200, something like that. And it's just part and parcel, and you might, especially if you're just starting out, that'll be amazing for you when you start getting paid for DJing. Like, it's no better feeling. You're like, you can't believe that somebody will pay you for this. It's like, it's amazing. So don't think about the money early on. Obviously, if you are playing a venue that is if you are playing a venue that is making money, eventually, you're going to want to ask for a fee. Of course.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, right? But yeah, anything from sort of $0 to like £100, $100, something like that would make sense.
Good question here.
Yeah.
John Fire Sound said, do you ask to be fully paid in advance or on the day of performance? Oh, I bet we've got some stories about this.
This depends. We have touched on this before in the podcast, but this is so dependent on you, who are you working for, where you're at in your career. It's not black and white. Me now, where I'm at, I can ask for fee up front, and there's no questions asked. I won't turn up if I don't get paid before. I'm not coming. It's simple as that. However, I work for promoters. I've worked for some promoters for 10 years, and if they say I'm not getting paid for a month, I'm fine with that because I know they're going to pay me in a month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's such a tricky subject, isn't it? Because like so many people can do it different ways, and it's like if you're a new DJ, a promoter's not going to want to pay you up front because they don't know you're going to show up.
Sure.
And that's like one instance. And then, we've had it before where we've said that, promoters can't pay you because they haven't sold enough tickets or, but then you still put that work in already.
I don't think I've ever been paid a full fee up front.
No,
honestly, I don't think I've ever been paid a full fee up front, and it's building good relationships.
But you worked with you had a relationship with promoters.
Yeah.
I'm in a boat right now. I'm owed like close to £1,000 from a club that I said my club closed down a few weeks ago. They owe me £1,000 now. I am powerless in that situation. I've got no control.
Just keep asking.
Yeah, keep asking.
You might have to write it off.
I've kind of made peace that that was a situation where I trusted them. I've worked for them for 2 years.
Yeah.
Why would I assume that was going to happen? But again, learning curve. Maybe next time I'll be like, pay up front. So again, payment up front. That's a great question. Wedding DJs now and the corporate event DJs now. This is like write your number on a piece of paper kind of thing because
it's very different.
It's so difficult, and there is different levels to this thing. Like I've done corporate events where I've just got the same as a DJ fee, which I'm happy to do. Like I can pick up a controller, they have all the sound and stuff like that, and I go to a corporate event and it's like £250 for 3-4 hours. Fine with that. There's also flip sides where I've been paid thousands of pounds to go and DJ a really fancy Sweet 16, something like that, and you go in there and there's Bentleys everywhere and stuff like that, and you're like, I should have charged more. So and there's I know some corporate event DJs that charge like £3,000-4,000, and that's because they're coming with rigs.
It's like a mini club.
It's a mini. They're coming with clubs in a van, which is a great idea for a business.
Just shout out to Hortensia on YouTube. Said, do you guys teach DJing?
Do we teach DJing?
Yes, we do.
We've been known to.
And if you're new to the channel,
for sure.
Definitely something to bear in mind is you can go check out all our courses on wearecrossfader.co.uk. Let's make that nice and big there. And then also we have 20% discount with this off the record. So if you use the code off the record, which is the name of this podcast, when it goes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everything else, you can get 20% off any of the courses. So,
and if you could subscribe to the podcast or give it a little star or whatever you do on a podcast, that would be amazing, guys. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Should we do a game?
Should we do a game?
And then we'll get to all of your questions. I've favorited loads. And obviously you can fire some more during the game, maybe, if I can keep an eye on them. But let's go. Right. What's the jingle?
Is Jamie taking the wheel?
So I'm taking the wheel again.
Jamie's taking the wheel.
We have tested this connection. We had a problem last podcast. We've tested it. It works. If it doesn't work again, we might have. So this one is called I'm Stuck in an Elevator.
What? I'm stuck in an elevator.
Or I'm stuck in a lift. Depends where you are in the world.
I'm stuck in a lift. Is it not the top 3 people you want to share a lift with? Not that
No. It's still a music oriented.
It's music based.
So elevator music, right? So we're still. I've got a long playlist here, so I'm just going to pick random ones.
This is why. If I'm stuck in a lift, I'm not listening to music. I'm pressing that alarm. Like, get me out.
Right. I think some of these I haven't pre-checked these, so it could be quite interesting. Let's try it. Does this work?
Oh, hello. This is bedroom music.
This is like Valentine's season.
Should we turn it up a little bit? Let's get the vibe going.
I feel like Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Well, no, we can do it.
This Gypsy Woman.
Yeah. No, maybe lyrics.
Play it.
Ooh.
Sing it.
Nice.
Okay, you got that one.
Get the flute out.
Right. Yeah,
you know what?
I haven't pre-tested these.
That's so hard because the only way you know that song is the riff in it.
Yeah.
So without that.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Let's try this one. I don't know if there's vocals at the start. We might have to skip through a few.
get Shaft. I'm getting like Shaft movie. You know, like.
I'm certainly not thinking about a lift.
I thought I had it then.
I bet you wanted.
Oh.
Do we have it?
Oh.
Let's go.
Oh.
How I knew.
Oh no!
Oh.
Plans to make.
Oh, with some other guy. Who is it?
He hit that note. He hit that note.
What is the song
Someone
called?
said Pink Panther.
No, yeah.
Someone else said, "What did I miss?" Like, yeah, I know. If you're tuning in right now, don't worry.
Heard it through the grapevine.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's harder when the lyrics come in.
Yeah. Because they're so different.
Oh my god.
Oh.
This is the toughest game.
Yeah.
By miles.
You got to leave them a bit longer. I
That's
think.
delicious.
That is. Hello, I'm Ron Burgundy.
She was more like a beauty.
Oh,
God.
pull it up.
Do you know what? Let's just not even guess.
Yeah.
Let's listen.
We're
These are great.
We can't get to any questions, guys. We're just going to listen to all of these songs. Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Well, this has been missing from my life.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Gee, I know.
All right.
I know what I'm doing in the shower later. ABBA.
Yeah.
ABBA.
Yeah.
Let's skip into that one. Have we got vocals?
Oh.
I don't think we do. It's just vibey.
Yeah.
Just vibey.
Oh, you know what?
Okay.
We need to go.
Oh, should we go like something?
Let's
Let's go cheesy. See if this works.
Okay.
Oh, no.
This isn't elevator music though.
Oh,
all right, no, I'll find. We'll do one more, shall
Okay.
Yeah.
we?
No one's keeping count here.
No. Oh.
What is it?
This is a vibey elevator. Is it?
Don't worry, be
Don't worry, be
happy.
happy, Bob Marley.
Yeah. Well done. Okay, we'll leave it at that. I will dig a bit deeper next time.
That was hard.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that,
really
though.
hard, but sick. Yeah, elevator. I can't wait to get in the elevator.
Someone said it reminds me of a Beverly Hills restaurant music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Jazz mode activated.
jazz flute, Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Pink
If
Panther.
you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Questions.
Questions,
go.
time,
Do it.
baby. Questions.
First one, big question. How do you go from an unfamous DJ to a famous DJ?
Well,
Oh,
you're
well.
talking to the wrong. No. So many. Well, there's two ways you can do it. One, you can do it the real easy way where you become credible, you become well-known artist, you work hard for 10 years, you become famous, or you can just go viral overnight.
Yeah.
It's one or two options.
Usually, effort does kind of play out
For longevity.
Yeah.
It's the effort.
How many people have
10,000 hours.
one-hit wonders and they've come and gone? It's the same in the DJ world. You know,
Yeah,
you
man.
could like get a load of bookings, not be able to handle them because you haven't put the graft in, and then
Yeah.
oh man, I've just
Yeah.
like shot myself in the foot here.
Yeah. Look, James puts out 100 videos a week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let that be a lesson.
It's like a lot of people say, the quicker that someone comes up, the quicker they go down. And it's like with James Hype, there's been years and years and years before that. So it's got to think about it like that.
What about this one? Very common question. Which DJ deck should we get if we're learning?
Yeah, there's loads of options
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Now there's actually never been more options,
Nah.
which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the main one you're going to look for is probably Flex 4.
Yeah.
Or Flex 4 or the Rev 1, depending on what kind of style of DJ you are.
Yeah,
They're
both
the
Pioneer
kind of
DJ.
great ones that people are using. The Flex 4 is great because now it comes with it works with an app as well, so super accessible.
And it works with both Serato and Recordbox, so you can test both out and try both.
You can just do so much on it.
We've got a lot of people asking here, and it's something that does come up a lot. Do you guys use Virtual DJ? If not, is there a chance we can see you guys use Virtual DJ in the future? So let's just... Right, we come from a background where we never used Virtual DJ.
Yeah.
And we always want to make sure that we're putting out the best content.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, we have used Serato religiously, all of us,
And Recordbox.
and Recordbox religiously.
Yeah.
And we use Traktor a little bit.
Yeah.
But we've never really used Virtual DJ. So we're conscious of going, okay, well,
There's a
let's just
trade-off
start
of
doing lots of
time.
Virtual DJ stuff, but do you know, it's one of those things.
We don't want to give a professional opinion on something that we're not 100% sure. And look,
we've got 10 years in the game with Serato and Rekordbox. Well, Rekordbox hasn't been around for that long, but do you know, we've got that background and that history with it, and we understand the progression of where it's come from, where it's going. It doesn't mean that we're against virtual DJ by any means. No. It's got the best stems out there. It's fantastic that they support like every controller. It's great. But yeah, we're only a couple of people, and we're going with our strengths.
It's a trade-off of time. There's not many of us, and you know, to learn another DJ system inside and out, just doesn't make sense to us at the minute. We do have a virtual DJ course where you can go. There's a free, is it 6-part virtual DJ lesson you can look for if you DJ on a laptop. Yeah, and we do have a virtual DJ course as well. So if you want to go and check that out, then we have that already.
Yeah. So we had someone else do the course because they dove deep with it. They understand it, and there's a beginner course for it there. But we haven't taken it further than that. So many people asking this question as well. How long do you think till the XZ2?
Honestly,
it was so funny because the Opus Quad came out and everyone was like, "Great, but where's the XZ2?" And I wonder if Pioneer were like, maybe we should have done the XZ2, not the Opus Quad. Like
my theory still stands that I think it'll be this year, but they tend to do January to Pioneer. So,
but they've just released like 3 flagship.
I know, but I think with the demand and you know all of these flagship products will sell out, and with the demand and what the feedback as well, they can easily have an XZ2. Put on the extra features that they've covered.
It just needs the internals of the CJ3000. It's just missing that whole.
So it's missing all of that.
Updated internals.
They keep dragging the heels with streaming. Yeah, that can go into there as well. So it's easy to drop an XZ2 tomorrow with streaming, with SEMS, and it's like there you go.
Yeah. Peps here said, would you say that the Opus Quad has been created just for weddings? Seems we just mentioned it.
I'd say it's definitely been created more at the corporate world more than like club DJs for sure, but not necessarily just weddings.
Not really. I see it as like a flex. It is a very nice piece of equipment. So
it's like getting a really nice car.
Yeah,
even it does the same
furniture.
thing.
It's like a really nice piece of furniture in a house. So it's like it's more like that bougie kind of clientele.
This one's a good one. Hi guys, love the videos, always helpful. I have one question. How do you prepare your playlists and music for gigs where the genre could change? And also, do you cue point all your songs? No, I don't always cue point all my songs.
I don't always cue point all my songs. And the ones I don't cue will get cued on the fly. So like I'll download a bunch of new songs for a set, and then on the fly I'll just be listening to my headphones, be like, right, cue there, skip 16 beats, I'll cue there. So I'm not kind of, and some people do it. There's tools out there where they can do it for you if you want to do it in batch, mixed in key. They have a cue point generator, Lexicon DJ, things like that. But in terms of organising playlists, it's very simple as structuring by genre, then structuring by tempo, and maybe structuring by kind of vibe, like energy. They're the main 3 kind of pillars of a night. You're going to change genres, so you need them listed. You might do it by year as well, just to have a bit more structure. And then you've got warm up, main set, end set, and I think that's the easiest kind of tiers that I do it anyway.
That same person that spoke about the Opus Quad had a follow-up question as well and said, where could I find good quality cables? My third USB-B cable just broke yesterday. From Germany. I think they're called Neo-Oide or something.
Neo cables,
Neo cables, check them out.
We recommended
they're the bright coloured
bright
ones,
green
very
ones.
durable, very
if you're
strong.
on screen, I'm holding it.
I mean, they're slightly more expensive, but they do hold up. Like they do stand the test of time, so definitely worth it.
If you just get your standard ones that come in a box, they will break. So even though these ones are a bit more expensive, you'll never have to buy one again. That's the thing. That's a trade-off. Whereas the little flimsy ones that always break.
Always. Yeah.
So just a quick answer here. Hey guys, you know if there's any way to get DMX out from XCJR experience some lights without spending the $750 for the Pioneer light controller? So again, it's not a speciality, but as far as I'm aware, you need the RB DMX box, and I think they've actually just made that obsolete. Like they've discontinued it now, so you have to find one. I think that is the best way of doing it. I'll have to look further into that one. Sorry, we can't help further on that.
If you want to get more into like the lighting show of it and stuff, the Flex 10 has come out.
It's got DMX output.
DMX output with a new stage hand app as well, which has just been launched by Pioneer. So if that might be a route that you want to go down.
Someone asked here, what graphical tool do you use to make the controllers? in the pictures in your courses. I'm interested in making some new design mock-ups to influence the industry.
Right.
It's called a Livesy.
Yeah.
No, it's the images, the like rendered images of the controllers. We have a graphic designer.
The design. Sorry, I thought you were about how we make our videos with overlays. Sorry, the little images on our website.
Yeah, they're like illustrations. So that there's no tool, I'm afraid.
You know what? There is. There is now.
human.
There is now. We were checking it out. There's an AI tool called Midjourney. You have to pay for it, but I guarantee that'll be able to make it. So there's, if you don't, some of you, if you watch YouTube a lot, you'll come across this. But it's called Midjourney, and it's a AI app through Discord. So you basically put in whatever prompt you want through Discord, and it'll give you a digital art.
Yeah.
And we're talking like unbelievable accuracy and quality. Like some guy was typing in Robert De Niro looking out of a window looking sad, and it,
with
like,
this camera,
it looks more like Robert De Niro than Robert De Niro does.
So true.
So yeah, if you go onto like Midjourney, type this prompt into Discord that you want, it will spit it out for you, and I guarantee it will give
it a go for sure.
Yep. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever come across a week where you need a break from researching new music, making new mixes, preparing? As much as I love music, sometimes I feel I need a break.
Same with anything in life. You always need a break.
Preaching to the choir sometimes. Obviously. We all need a break, even if it's something we love. Like.
Yeah, of course.
Well, 2 weeks ago, Pioneer dropped like 30,500 products in a day. And it was just like, wow, too much. But yeah, 100%. Like, absolutely. Like, I'm a workaholic. I love DJ. I do 5 nights a week when I can.
Yeah.
But then I've just had 2 weeks off, and I'm like, oh, thank God. But now I'm like, can't wait to get back. So burnout with anything, like 100%.
I feel like it's good. You refine your love for it as well.
Big time.
I get this a lot with like production as well. Like I fall out of love with it for some time, and then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and on the flip side, there's some DJs out there that I fall into as well, where you get into the habit of playing similar songs, similar sets, stuff goes well, and you'll do it for a few weeks and that. And honestly, I can't tell you the difference it is just by having an hour music search of different places. And it's like, go into a venue, go into a club with like a new set list. And and I'm not talking about, let's just go generic and be like, you're going to play, Drake, Rihanna, whatever, all that kind of stuff. You're going to play that. But if you can just find some new edits of that kind of stuff, you'll appreciate it. The crowd will appreciate it. It's just totally different vibe. So
I'd say that's the key, is just take time away from it and find inspiration whilst you've got that time away from it. That's the most important thing, I think.
You listen to DJ sets like Mixcloud and Boiler Room and that kind of thing.
Melvin P said, any idea when exporting record box to USB, it's putting keys as like C# major and stuff, and not as the alphanumeric, which is like 4A, 5A. Now in record box, if you go to your device in record box, you can change settings on the device, and on there you want to change it to the Camelot notation. Should be the best way. And we'll do one more.
Let's do one more.
Someone said, is it possible to use Recordbox and Serato laptop at the same time on a CDJ setup in HID mode, and how would you do it?
I don't think that's possible, is it? No.
It depends. If you've got 2 USB ports on the mixer, then you could have one USB port from the mixer going to a record box laptop, the other USB port on the mixer going to the Serato laptop, and then you'd have to have a USB from one CDJ to one laptop.
So basically, no.
A USB cable from the other CDJ to the other laptop, and then switch it from USB A to USB B for different DJs, and that's how you'd back to back it. But this is what we were talking about earlier about turning up to clubs, being comfortable on whatever is there. Do you know what I mean? So
don't overcomplicate it.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Like I said, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff, and of course our podcast listeners, wherever you're listening from, I hope you're good. Please subscribe to the podcast. That would be amazing. And of course, for you guys, every week there is a code off the record 20 to get 20% off any.
Just off the record.
To get 20% off any of our courses is just off the record. And then we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.
All right, peace out.